Hi there, this is Susie here again with her bromeliad this time, and I'd like to make a short video in regards to how I divide my bromeliads. A lot of my friends got bromeliads here in Victoria or in New South Wales. They sometimes don't know how to divide them and how to look after them. So I'll just generally talk about what I do. Of course, the bromeliads, the Queenslanders are perhaps a lot more advanced and more professional as how they do them, because they obviously do it at a larger scale. Not only that, a lot of them do it commercially and for sale, and I just do it as a hobby. And I do collect odds and ends and have a nice display here in Victoria. And in Queensland you will find that the weather is a lot temperate and more tropical to subtropical, where they do or perform better than here in Victoria, because bromeliads really don't like frost. If you plant them under trees or in the frosty conditions, you're more likely to have damages on the leaves as I have actually, just because it just gets scorched in the frost and things like that, and they don't really like too much sun either. So you have to be very careful. Up north, obviously at larger scales, they do protect them under the shade houses where they let so much sun in. There's a certain degree of the fabric that they use for sun control, whereas I don't have anything like that. I just love it underneath my trees and see them grow in it's sort of like a natural environment. Now I'm going to show you what I do. All I do is literally lift it out of the pocket, which sort of out of the pot, and it seems to have come out really beautifully. And all I do is literally take all these things out. Make sure that I keep the label. Label is important. Sometimes they do get mixed up, and because I've got so many different types of bromeliads, it does get can get quite confusing. And here you can see I have got two babies here, one here, one quite a large one. And of course the mother plant has already done its job. The leaves are now turning really brown and crispy, and the flower has already come and gone. So I'm just going to remove the mother plant from the babies. So what I do is generally literally take it off, just cut it off as much as you can to the mother. And this one, if I can, I might be able to get the roots as well. And this is how I separate them really. If you've got roots as well and good. And I'm just going to repot them. So here's a bigger Black Forest is the name of this particular bromeliad, and it's a Neorelia variety, and that's the species that it's called. And all I do, as you can see, I have got a bag of orchid mix, and it's suitable for all terrestrials and epiphytes. Although these bromeliads are epiphytes, as you know, they are the natives of South America's regions around there in the tropics, and they grow naturally on trees. And of course Brazil, as far as Ecuador, Mexico, all those regions have beautiful broms growing on the trees. And here we obviously love the plant and grow them in our homes or outside in our gardens. All I do is literally fill this up, and perhaps, sorry, I shouldn't fill that much up, but about half fill it. Maybe I should grow the little one. And you can wash them, you can clean them, but I don't really bother, because it's just going to go in the garden again in a little pot. And I just do it, half fill it, and put the brom in, and literally fill it up with the soil. And this is all what I do, and peg it properly so it doesn't fall off. And because I'm doing it as a hobby and at a smaller scale, this is what I do, and this is how I propagate little babies. So I've really got one here, and I'm just going to do the bigger one. Quickly show you how I do it. Half fill it and put this brom in. This brom shouldn't really have any problems you know, growing on its own, because it's got its own roots. So all I'm going to do is to just stick the roots and things in it and just fill it up with 100% orchid mix. I really don't mix anything else like styrofoam and all these fillers and things, because bromelia is like a good natural water, which is the rainwater, and then it's really gust of water. It washes the plant off, it gets what it wants, and then waits for the next lot of rain. Whereas here we just use really barky, heaps of bark chips, and this particular one has got, it says 12 months feeding, it's got calcium, it's got wetting agent, and it's got trace elements. So I really don't need anything else for it. And keep it dry side, because the medium, it doesn't really like wet, otherwise you'll get wet roots. So and then try to keep water, you know, in their cups. This is where I'll be watering them, and leave the cup filled with water once a week, and it should do the job. And here it is, I've got 2 new broms out of the mother plant, and I'll be putting out there in my garden. So now you can actually have a look at my garden, how I have been doing the job, and I have really separated a lot of babies of their mothers, and I have replaced them and repotted them, and this is what my garden looks like. There are mainly neurologias in here that I have got, and I'm just working my way towards my left, and I will just tidy them up and fill up all these areas with just brom. I just like to see a sea of brom underneath the trees. And along there you will see that I have got different types of bromeliads, which is the Verisi type here, which has been sort of got a little bit sunburned. As you can see, when it's over 40 degrees, it's better to keep them in the shade than in the sun. So I'm afraid to say sometimes the weather is against us here in Victoria, and we tend to get the sun blemishes on them. And I actually quite like the bit of color underneath my trees here. You know, I mean, best place for them to grow is in Queensland, and Queenslanders, I guess, would know more what else needs to be doing as far as hybridizing them and cross-pollinating, which I really don't focus on those sort of things. And we'll see you shortly about more of my bromeliads right in front of the house, which is a different type. Bye-bye. Here is my few collection of Verisies that I am very passionate about. I don't have a major collection, but just enough to have it in front of my front door. As you can see, this is one of the really nice Verisies. It's got names, of course, individual names, but I won't go into it, but just showing you how beautifully they can also be grown here in Victoria. And this particular one is my favorite, really, Mentezuma, I think it's called, and it's I believe it's cross-pollinated with something else. If I could find a sticker, I would have known what is this being cross-pollinated with. But anyway, this is one of my best Montezuma plant that I have seen doing so beautifully here, and same as here, this big one, and this particular one here also has done quite well. And just to show you the size of this one, it's absolutely enormous. So, you know, you can grow Verisies really well here in Victoria. I have found out better than Neurologias. They don't seem to perform as well. And further back here, I've got a few Bulbergias. There's another type of bromeliad that I have got in here. Not as much collection as perhaps the professionals up in Queensland, but just showing you what you can do here in Victoria with bromeliads. It's not an area that really enjoys everything, but it's certainly, you know, if you are passionate about it, you can literally grow them here in Victoria. I hope you enjoyed my little video, and we shall see you again. Bye.